welcome to René Paris. I'm Danny, Aderans educator, and today we're going over high heat fiber. High heat, heat friendly, heat defiant, however it is that you've seen it on the tags, the descriptions and so forth. Today it's all about high heat. This is so very important because let me just tell you, we have been through several states in the past 3 months, and there's one thing that I know that everyone is just confused about. That's what we're going to talk about. I feel like it's the #1 mistake that we're making. And it actually does have something to do with styling, but it's actually just the fact that we don't even know. We do not even know that we're wearing something that's high heat. Yes, let me just tell you, I do this, I do this every single day. And I have someone sitting in my chair, and they're frustrated, they feel defeated, they wanted to wear a wig because they heard about all the wonderful things about wigs, and they are wonderful. I always tell women they're the best accessory ever, but they don't understand what's happening. So I said, well, talk to me, tell me a little bit about what's going on. Well, I love the wig, it's beautiful, I love the color, and it gets matted, and it just mats back here, and it gathers, and it's clumpy, and what am I doing? I said, well, do you know what it's made out of? Because a lot of times they're sitting in my chair and maybe they're not wearing something from René Paris or Noriko, Amore, which is fine. That's not my concern. My concern is that we don't know that we're wearing high heat. So when it starts reacting the way it does, we don't know what to do. So I'm going to go over all the questions, and if you have one, please let us know. If you don't want to do it today, you can send us a DM at the René Paris account. Always remember, there are many videos on YouTube and Instagram. Alexander, Abby, myself, if you want to see different tools being used, if you want to see different techniques, different wigs, please make sure that you go on to YouTube, and it's just so much fun to see everyone teaching with different tools, with different wigs. And I'm a wig wearer since I was 27, since I'm only 37, not too long. So it's the best accessory ever. However, the first thing I have to say is, yes, it feels different. It may look different. High heat fiber is made of a different fiber. So when we talk about fiber, we're talking about, we all know that it's realistically, the basis is it's a fabric. So this fabric is different from this fabric. And when I take something that's a classic, when you take a classic synthetic, whoops, this style doesn't want to come over here. Okay, so when you take a classic synthetic, and maybe you have one at home, you can just run your fingers through it and you can feel the difference in high heat and a classic synthetic. Now, if you're new to wigs, the individual helping you is going to help you make this choice. However, if you've already purchased the wig, and like I said, you're going through all these things are happening, like it's getting soft, it's getting dry. And let me just tell you, one thing we never think about is element, meaning where we're at, where we live. Is it humid? Does it rain a lot? Does it, a lot of us don't even factor that into the decision that we're making. I'm from Texas. It is hot and dry here. So I have to shampoo my high heat more regular, and I have to condition it, which is one of the questions. Is it going to be more work? Yes, it is. There are pros and cons, and they're beautiful wigs. It's just that if you want to get into a wig and you want it to look bulletproof all the time, meaning we're just going to put it on, you don't have to worry about styling it, you don't want to worry about the extra products, you don't want to worry about the extra tools, high heat is not for you. That's as simple as it is. That's the biggest mistake we're making. You want to choose something that's going to meet your needs. So if you're really busy, you travel a lot, you have to look bulletproof all the time, unless you can carry your tools with you and you are, how do I put this respectfully? You want to mess with your hair. Some people don't want to mess with their hair. Listen, I'm licensed. I'm a licensed cosmetologist instructor. I don't want to mess with my hair. I really don't. I love just walking in, putting it on, and I'm done for the day. I don't want to carry anything extra. I don't want to carry extra tools. I don't want to do any of that because I teach and I have to carry all that in my kit. That's a lot. It's a big old suitcase, which is great. I love it, but I don't want to take that on my everyday. Does that make sense? First question, always, is it going to be more work? If you know that you're wearing high heat, that's going to be your concern. Number two, it is very important to find out, if you're not sure, from the manufacturer or from the individual, meaning like the company. Say, for instance, you go to reneparis.com. Really simple. You go to reneparis.com. On the top upper right, there's 3 little bars. You hit that. It's going to tell you find your style. Click on that, and then to the left on the drop down, there's a menu. You scroll down and it tells you what fiber type you're looking for. Go hit high heat, and all the high heat, it comes up, all the styles, all the colors. And if you're not sure, if you got rid of the tag, or if the tag's missing, or if you cut the tags out like I do because you don't want them to pop out if they're really short, check it and make sure that it's heat friendly. What's very important is that you have to have the right temperature in order to style high heat. Now, I'm going to start off in a little bit. I still have a lot of questions, but I'm going to start off with our René Paris hot comb and show you that sometimes if it's a finishing that you're doing to your cleansed wig, it may work. If you're wanting to put a really tight curl, or if it may not be enough heat for the particular wig. And I know that sounds a little it's a lot. So today I'm using very basic tools that you may have at home. I'm not an influencer. I'm not here to influence you to buy anything different. I want to work with what you have. And these tools are in my kit, but they belong to my sisters. They have hair. I don't. I don't have hair like that, so I don't ever buy tools like that. I do to teach. But what's really important is if I go on a trip with my sister, they're going to take the tools. I know that if I have to style my high heat style and we're on location, I'm going to be good because I can manage with one of the tools that I have. So let me go over those with you really quickly. Just a regular blow dryer. All of these, I am conscious of the temperature. This has a heat setting. I can do low, medium, and high. Everything that you use on high heat has to be temperature controlled. Then we have our ROP flat comb. That's wonderful because we know that just doesn't go anywhere past 240. It stays there. And the most important thing about that is I can use my René Paris hot comb on my regular synthetics and my high heat synthetics. Then I have a curling wand. I know a lot of you have these. I'm not going to give you a particular because there's a lot of different wands like this. This heats up and cools down at the same time, eliminating me having to hold it or put a clip in it. So this is wonderful on human hair. This is wonderful on high heat, but you would never, 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 never want to use this on regular synthetic because it will just singe it and melt it, and it will never look the same again. So please keep in mind, anything that I'm showing you today, I'm going to show you, I'm keeping it, I start at 280. I always start at 280. Our instructions, our tags always say 300 or below. Let me just tell you, every implement heats up differently. If you plug in an iron, turn it on, you let it set for a little bit. I haven't worked with all the irons out there. So they build heat as they're sitting on the counter. Wherever you have it, they build heat. It may be hotter than 275. So it's always safe to start lower and then if it's just not doing what you need, go up in increments. But keep in mind, that is the biggest mistake we're making. We're not controlling the temperature, and it may not be hot enough, but you don't want it too hot. So not to confuse you, just to be helping you. Another question that we get all the time is the density of high heat going to be different? The density of any wig is going to be different. There's high density, low density. Most important thing is, the one question I always get is, can you please show me a low density pastel colored wig? Yes, I'm going to do that for you today. I can't tell you how many times I get that question, because I usually wear limited edition Angelicas in the high buns with the curtain bangs. And it is a lot of hair. It's a lot of hair, and you have to learn how to keep it up in the high bun without it falling. Someone wants to see, we had several people that sent me DMs. They want to see low density pastel colored hair that's high heat. I have that for you today. So we're going to get there. I just want to answer all these questions. You can find different densities just like you can in synthetic hair. You can do the same in high heat. Okay, so this one really surprised me, but I've heard it many times. I've had people told the individual or wherever it is that they acquired the wig says I can wear the wig for 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years? I've never had a wig for 5 to 7 years. Now, if you have a wardrobe, like a huge wardrobe, and you wear that wig maybe once every couple weeks and you switch it out, but I will not tell you myself that you can wear a wig for 7 years. By manufacturing standards, we design wigs to last 3 months, 5 months maximum. But to expect a wig to last for 7 years, let me just tell you, my friends, it is not going to last 7 years. I've never had a wig last 7 years unless it's in the vault and I never touched it. It's still in the same box, hasn't hit air. I've never had one last that long, so please, I'm not really sure where that information is coming from, but it is not correct. Same thing with our regular synthetics. They're not going to last 7 years. They're just not going to. They're not going to last 5 years. Let me just give you a scenario. I walk out today. I'm wearing a regular synthetic or high heat. I'm using the wrong products, meaning they're too high in alcohol. My iron's way too hot. I get after it. It's already loaded with product like this. And then I take out my hot iron and it's way past 350. Well, we'll just say 350. And then I hear the sizzle, and then I see the singe, and then I see the hair falling off. It didn't even last a day. But it wasn't manufacturing, it's what I did to it. Does that make sense? This is something that we have to be really careful of. Okay, let me see. If you love traditional synthetics, will you love high heat? Okay, I'm just going to answer that in my opinion, because I've been working with regular synthetic René Paris wigs since I was 10. I love the original synthetic. That's because we work in so many places. We work in theaters, we work in, private education. We have people that do this for their clients. We have people that create different looks with the fabric. And I just love the resilience of the René Paris fiber. High heat, I like it. I love it sometimes. Some of the styles, I love them. I like being able to straighten it and curl them. But like I said, it's really simple. If you do not want to be restyling your hair, then it may not be for you. I'm not telling you to not ever try it. I just sat with someone who I really had to find. She wanted to try it. She's been wearing traditional synthetic for about 20 years. I really had to find something in the right color and style that I knew she could handle. This is very, very important. The longer the hair, the more rubbing, the more friction on our body. Even myself, I'm on several medications. You know, I've shared this before. I'm going through that special time of life. my body gets really hot, and my wig isn't hot. It's the way the fabric reacts to my heat, my own body heat. So it's rubbing back here, and it might get a little knotted and so forth. So that's what happens. You start seeing the fiber kind of knot together. It's called body friction. And then it starts frizzing, and then it starts building, and then by the time you know it, there's not that beautiful movement. That's how I always know that it's time for me to shampoo my style. I don't specifically go every 2 weeks or once a week, because I wear lots of different wigs. But if I look at my wig, whether it's high heat or not, and it starts clumping and it doesn't look like it has soft movement, it's time to recondition, especially high heat. And let me tell you, in this Texas heat, I have to keep Revive. I know you've heard me talk about this. You hear all of us, me, Alexander, and Abby, talk about Revive. Super important. Now, I'm not here to tell you not to use the products that you may have from another place. That's wonderful. You use whatever you're comfortable with. Today, I'm going over very practical information because it's important to make sure that we are not using the products that have too much alcohol that are going to dry out the style, on top of maybe using too much heat. That definitely is going to shorten the lifespan of your wig. Okay, next question. Do I have to buy all the tools? This is really important. Do I have to buy all the tools that I see on all the other platforms? No, you don't. You don't. Really, if you have one high heat wig, you're starting out, please do not feel like you have to go acquire all the tools that people are showing. You don't. I can do my bangs, I can change my bangs, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute with the regular blow dryer. I don't even keep a round comb. I did everything basic today because it's very important. Now, as you build your skill set with the high heat, then you purchase whatever you'd like. But I'm not that person. I'm going to show you what I have at home. Again, blow dryer, water, Revive, and I do have my my holding spray. I don't use a lot of holding spray, but shampoo, conditioner, because it is very important to use the products that are designed for the wig, for the fabric. So I know no one likes to hear this, but let me just tell you, I've had people use things that are not formulated for wigs, changes the color, and then I've had several people that had curly styles, and the curl changed the pattern, and they don't have the skill set to put it back. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, if you can't find a licensed hairstylist to help you with that, or you can't acquire the right tools, I don't want you to feel defeated. That's the whole purpose we're wearing wigs, so that we don't feel that way. So in just a minute, I'm going to start and show you different techniques, very basic techniques that I really like when it comes to the high heat. Another question or statement was, kind of question is, do I still have to be careful with the monotop and hand tied? And yes, you still have to be careful with lace. You still have to be careful with knots. Like if it's monofilament here, you never want to put product here. I never put water here. You have to be so delicate, and you have to care for it, like you know that it's handmade here and that it has lace. This doesn't have much lace, but when it has lace here, you have to be aware of that. Even if it's high heat, you have to be aware of that, because high heat doesn't make it non-destructible. High heat just means that I have the versatility of human hair, but the bulletproof of synthetic. Does that make sense? You have versatility, but it's locked in until you change the pattern. So yes, you still have to be careful. You don't want to put any type of Revive. If it's handmade here, if it's lace front, lace part, if it's monofilament and it's high heat, whether it's ours or someone else's, you have to be careful. Thank you again for all of those who have joined today. We are talking about high heat. Lots of Q&A that I've received over the past 90 days. And then I'm going to do just a few demos to show you how nice it is just to use products we may have at products and implements that we have at home. I don't want you to feel, this is very, very important for our end wig wearers and our wig shop owners, for anyone that's teaching wigs. This is so important. I don't want anyone to feel defeated because they don't have all the things that they're seeing that everyone has, you know, some of us have been doing this for years. We've acquired our kits, you know, we have several products, we have several implements. This is what we do for a living. Not everyone has that. So I want you to feel good about using just very basic products. Again, we're going to go over that and basic implements. Okay, any questions? Has everyone that's with me today tried high heat? Does high heat come in all colors? No, it doesn't come in, not all styles come in all colors. And it's very important to keep in mind as we cross over from, say for instance, our Orchid line, which is mainly our high heat line, and then we go over to Noriko and Amore and René Paris. Not all lines are going to cross. They're not going to translate the same. They do look very similar though. Like I took, this is high heat chocolate frost. Brooklyn. I have her in an updo because I'm going to show you something with my bangs. But it doesn't come in all the same colors. So before you have your heart set on a certain color, like I said, go to reneaparis.com, go to High Heat Wigs and see what's available and the colors that are available in that particular style. Okay, so I want to just read from a tag. And I just want you to remember the one thing that I never use. I may use this to bend the hair, but I never brush my high heat wigs. Even if they're long, I don't do it. I don't want to damage the hair. I don't want to pull the fabric. I don't want it to, it's like pulling it, you know, it just doesn't, it doesn't have the same bounce back as you will as regular synthetic. So I never use a brush. I always use, if I do not have a heat protectant, let's just say you're at home and you do not have a heat protectant, you can use water. If you have Revive at home, I use Revive. So like I was saying earlier, if you do not have a heat protectant, do not worry about it. You can use water and you're still going to get the same pattern, curl pattern. From the tag, do not use tools that get past 300 in degrees. Please listen, do not go higher than 300. If you do not have an iron that you can control, like this one has different temperatures. This one doesn't go past 300. I have it set at 280. I'm sorry, I know you can't see it, but I have it set at 280. Again, this one's 240. Let me just tell you, if you really want to start somewhere, this would be where I start, because you can use this on your regular synthetics and your high heat. This is the René Paris hot tool. It heats up in just seconds, stays at 240, and if you walk away, you're not using it, it turns off. Then we have just a regular blow dryer. So now let me get started with my demos. So look at this. Imagine being at dinner and this happens. This is why I feel like this live was so important, because this happened to someone. They're out and about, they're wearing their high heat, they don't know, and then they take it off and they're like, what happened? What happened? This is from our high heat line. This is Spellbound in Cream de Cocoa. Cream de Cocoa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with our regular fabulous René Paris I'm just going to use my wide tooth comb. And I'm going to spray water. This is just water. Now let me just tell you, when you get to wearing your wig, and I've been wearing this one for a couple weeks. It's been really, really hot. When it starts clumping and there's no movement and it just looks dry and really unkept, it's time to shampoo it. That's how you know. If you're not gonna go, if you forget how many times you've worn it, of course we suggest every 2 weeks, but if you've been wearing it and it's been 1 week, you've been out in element and it starts looking like clumpy, it's time to shampoo it. The reason I'm wearing this and showing you is because I want to show you that it's a little bit harder, and you're gonna hear the singe because it's the water. Make sure you're careful to not burn yourself. I'm just holding it down here. Look at the difference. And look how quick. This is high heat. This is 240. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be that hot to go where you're wanting to go. Does that make sense? Be careful because it does get hot. The hair gets hot. This stays at 240 and you can put your hand here and you're not going to burn. However, the hair is going to be hot, and you just want to make sure that it's not too hot and it's not going to burn you. Okay, so this is the René Paris hot comb. And you want to keep a steady hand, otherwise you're going to crease it. But look at that. Isn't that one? That's what's wonderful about this particular iron. You can use it on this and this. I'm telling you, this has too much product, but I wanted to show you that it's time to shampoo this. And then I'm going to get out my shampooed style. See, I'm having trouble running. You have to make sure that you definitely comb all the knots out. And I know a lot of times I rather teach on my head because I like styling on myself. But if you want me to do it on a mannequin, let me know. I've got that right next to me. And you don't want to, I got too much hair. You definitely don't want to get too many. You want to section it off. Take it in sections. I usually clip my hair up and put clips and so forth. But like I said, if you're doing this and you want to just be quick about it, it is possible. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of just roll it. See? Now they're not flat on my head anymore. This is just such a wonderful, it's a wonderful iron because it does exactly what you need it to do. And then I use my fingers instead of, and then if you want to put a little bit more curl, hold it like that. Thank you for joining today. We're talking high heat and some of the things you may not know and some of the things you may not want to be doing with high heat. Okay, so here we go. Very nice. Now I'm going to curl with a different wand. You know what? Let me just show you. If you have this, I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it. And I'm pulling and I'm holding the hair here. See, you can create waves with this too. Now, usually I would tell you to take a pin, not a pin, a clip, I'm sorry, and clip it. But what I really like about the René Paris wand is that it doesn't get so hot that you have to clip it and hold it. It just does what it needs to, which is what I really, really like about it. Now I'm going to show you, same piece, I'm going to take a different iron and I'm going to show you what I mean. If the iron gets really, really hot, whoops, this one turned off already, so let me turn her back on. And we're going to do 280 on this one. Just takes a few seconds. So this one is going to get much hotter, and I am going to have to use a clip, because another mistake we make is we don't know that when we're curling high heat, when we take the curl, like when we release the curl, we have to hold it till it cools down in order for it to stay. It locks it in. So a lot of times we can be curling it and it's kind of just sliding out and nothing's happening. That's why. It's because it's not hot enough. Okay, so I'm not going to use water for this one. Let me just show you. And I'm just pulling the hair. And we'll see what the result is with no kind of mist. Then here, as you're sliding it out, again, I'm used to this, but you may want to be you can use a glove to protect your hand, or you can use a comb to. Let's show you the difference with a little bit of mist. And if it's high heat, that's what I'm saying. If it's high heat and you hear the sizzle, you should be fine. Now, if you don't know if it's high heat and you start doing this and you hear the sizzle and it's not high heat, it's going to burn it. It's just going to melt your fabric, melt the hair. You can hear a little bit of the sizzle. This is definitely going to make the hair, can you hear that? Hotter. Be careful with your fingers. And then you hold it. It has to cool down. Look at that. That's the difference between no moisture and moisture. So that's just water. Again, I don't want you to think that you have to go purchase anything extra, because you don't. That was just water from the water bottle. Same thing here. Like if you want a tighter curl, I'm just going to keep releasing it. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just kind of turning it as it heats up, and I'm going to see the grip is way over. Look at that. So a lot of times, depending on the fabric, meaning like this one, how do I put it? I can get nicer curls with a little bit more heat. So this is 240 and this is 280. So just keep in mind, if you have, this is an old curling iron. I don't have anything fancy. I don't have some of the fancy stuff they have now, but I do that intentionally because I know that I can still get the same look from the implement that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my next style. Let's see where we're at. Yeah. I'm gonna move on to my next style. Again, this was Spellbound, and it comes sleek, and I put the wave pattern into it in Cream de Cocoa. Okay, so I want to show you, I'm gonna go to a shorter one because we do have shorter styles. This is Star in the new color Ruby Chocolate. If you're new to wigs and you didn't see, let me just show you. If you're new to wigs, this is the René Pierce wig grip. This helps me keep the wig in place. If you haven't tried that, I would definitely suggest that. Okay, then you want to make sure that you pull your ear tabs down here. Okay, so here, today I think I want to go back with this. So I'm going to try this with the blow dryer first. What I don't like about the blow dryer is I really can't control This has quite a bit of a what do you call it? Like, I'm gonna put this on medium. I want you to see the difference in soft heat, and that's just too much. So I'm gonna put it on low heat. It has a heat setting, and I'm gonna just pull. So a lot of times you get box hair and the hair is falling towards the front, or say for instance this style, I just want to direct it going back. This is just my blow dryer and a brush. Again, being very gentle right here. Water. And you do have to let the hair dry. Okay, again, this is just a regular blow dryer on a low heat setting. A lot of times if you get your style and it's kind of falling towards the face and you want to go back with it, you can do this on a short style or a longer style. Or you can create a bang. Then I'm going to show you with the curling iron what kind of curl we can create. I love this style because I love short hair. But let's just say I really wanted a definite curl. This is 280. Always remember, temperature is very important. This could be too much curl, or it could be just depending on what you like. Make sure, always be careful that you don't burn your skin. Bring it back. So this is me creating a different look with a basic curling iron. Now keep in mind, I'm not using any kind of hair product. I can use the styling spray and definitely lock it in. I really don't like using a lot of product, but when I do, I definitely do use something formulated for wigs because it is very important. So I'm gonna try to do tighter curl here, so just keep your hand there, or a comb. Let it cool down. So if you just joined, we're talking high heat today. Some basic tips to help you, or maybe your customers, your friends. Sorry, I don't have a stand for my tools today. Okay. And the other thing is that you definitely do need some type of holding product. This is again the René Paris Protect and Hold Spray. High heat is the fabric itself is, again, you do have to work with it, and you do have to use, I feel like you do have to use more product in order for it to do what you want. Okay, so this was just blow dryer or curling iron. Again, I can completely change this here too. Just keep in mind, temperature makes a big difference, and the curling iron is definitely hotter. Sorry. So it may be easier for you. And like I said, I'm just showing you what this is. Posh. Let me make sure. No, I'm sorry. I'll do Posh next. This is Silky Sleek in Dusty Rose. Okay, so this is for all the people that have asked me to find something, to show something that is low density in a pastel, high heat. This is from our Orchid Collection. I want to show you, I'm going to be using this wand here. Sorry, it's going to take just a minute to heat up. And this is 280. Let me go through this with this while I wait. So if I wanted to just, you can go, if you want definite, like almost board straight, you can go from the outside. If you want a little bit of a bend, I just hold it here as it cools. Please remember, I know I've said it several times, please remember though, as you're moving your hand here and as you remove the hot iron, please remember the hair does get hot. You don't want to burn yourself. But like I said, I'm so used to it that I forget to move my hand sometimes. However, I've never really had a problem with it getting too hot. So, but like I said, if your iron is getting hotter, that is something you have to keep in mind. Okay, so with this tool, it heats up and cools down at the same time. I'm gonna do a little bit of water. I'm gonna start at the top here. You can hear the sizzle. That doesn't, if it's high heat, like I said, you'll be fine. This particular wand, you don't have to wait. It's heating it up and cooling it down at the same time. There's a lot of them out there. It doesn't have to be. See? So for those of you that have asked me to find, hi Abby! For those of you that have asked me to find something that is low density and pastel colored, this is it. This is one of them. This comes in several colors. Just a soft. Now if you want a tighter curl, let's go back to this iron. It's still a little bit, you know what, let me just put more water. We're gonna put more water. Keep in mind, if it's hotter with the iron, you're gonna have to let it cool down. As I'm kind of just letting the barrel go and dragging it through. You like all my faces? I didn't hold that. Remember that the difference in temperature, this is 280. And then last, I have a few minutes. I want to show you a really, really curly style that I want to soften up. I'm going to just hold that for a minute. A few seconds. Whoa. See the difference? That's more heat holding it. Okay. Same thing. You can use a flat iron. You can use, and I'm going to use the René Paris tool to take that out. Because I like it silky and sleek. But the beautiful thing about this fabric is this fiber. I keep calling it fabric, I'm sorry. This fiber is that you can curl it, straighten it. Just remember that if it's really dry where you're at, you may have to condition it more, which is very, very important. And it does help you keep the lifespan of the wig. Now just remember, I did say it's not going to last 7 years, okay? Okay, so let me do this. This is Attitude Molten Amber. This is really curly, but I just want to show you, this is a really big look right now in natural hair wigs, and I just want to show you, if it's really curly, I want to show you what I do to soften it up a little bit. Okay, so I want you to look at the difference between this curl. Look at it. It's going to take me a while to do the entire head of hair, but I'm going to just take this and I'm heating it up. Then I'll show you with the blow dryer. And I'm just stretching it. Look at how much softer. That's too much. However, it just, I don't want it so perfectly curled. I want it to look like natural hair. Let me take, for this particular, I'm gonna take the only reason I'm using a brush on this particular one is because it is high heat. Otherwise I would never do that. But if I wanted to just take the curl out of this and go back, let me just do that right now. Let me pin this for myself, and I want to show you. I want to definitely make it softer. Best thing to do is use a wide tooth comb or your fingers. Don't I enjoy all my facial? So don't you just love this fabric? Fiber, it's the best. Yes, you can hear the singe. It's high heat, so it's gonna be fine. Let me do that again because I didn't hold it. Please remember, with the water and more heat, in order for it to lock in, you do have to hold it. I'm doing this really quickly, but if I was doing this off my head I would clip it, but look at the difference. This is much more natural looking. I have worn it this other way. I've worn it like this too. I like it too. And then sometimes I'll just take, but look how nice this is. I can do this blended, like have one every other section, make it soft like this and then curly and separate it, and I'll tell you, it looks so natural because I wish you could see my sister's hair. I don't want her to know, but I have hair envy. The girl has hair like this and it's natural. Okay, so I'm going to take my blow dryer, medium heat. This is not high heat. And I'm going to just warm it up. And I'm pulling on this as it warms up. Look how it's relaxed. See the difference? So this is just my regular blow dryer. It's not super hot and it's not super fast like that. Just keep it on a low setting, low heat, and you can definitely go back and soften up if you have a high heat style that you just, I liked it, I rocked it like that, now I want to soften it a little bit. Again, I'm just taking a section, warming it up. Okay, from here, you just want to take a little bit of water. Look at that. So I just have to do the whole thing now, but look at the difference. That's the beauty of high heat. Okay, so let me put back on my this is my Brooklyn in chocolate frost. Always make sure you lift from the hair, not the lace. Okay, so I like all this. The only thing I can't deal with, because I'm at work right now, is the hair in my face. So I'm going to take this. Lightly spray it with water. I'm going to do this with my, I can do this with my hot comb as well. But I just wanted you to see how I can redirect the hair with whatever implement I have. Today we've used curling iron, we've used the ROP flat iron, and we've used our basic blow dryer. So please don't feel that you have to have all these other tools. You don't. Let me do this because this is just not working for me today. And it'll stay back like that. And then just use a little bit of wig spray. Hold on a minute, let me just check something. And then remember, like whenever you take this down, because it has clips in it, when you take it down and it is high heat, you can redo the curls really easy. You can use your ROP wand, you can use a flat iron. I know a lot of you have amazing skill sets, but I want to make sure that you have fun with your wigs. And if you're not sure, like I said, if you're just not sure if it's high heat or not, find out before you go into styling or changing it. And please remember, wigs are supposed to be fun, fabulous, and time-saving, the best accessory that you can have. So we're beautiful with and without hair. However, if you'd like to try high heat and you never have, please make sure that you have fun with it. And just remember to control the heat. Every implement has to be controlled. If it's been sitting on the counter for a while and it's built heat up, turn it off. Turn it off. If you don't have unplug it, plug it back in and start over. Like I said, a lot of this was done at 240, 280 maximum, and I know a lot of instructions say a lot higher, but you don't have to go that high. Have fun with your wigs. If you have questions, make sure you send them to René Paris, the René Paris Instagram account. Have fun with them. Have fun with your wigs, and I will see you soon.